The Reincarnated Spirit. Does the sun go down faster in the countryside, honey? It's only 7 o'clock, but it already feels like deep night. While Mrs. Sao stepped out to the water well, Huyen Ya leaned close to Sun and whispered, "This is so boring. No TV, not even a place for entertainment." "It's not boring at all," Sun smiled and pulled Nya closer into his arms. "It's just your first time in the countryside, so you haven't gotten used to it yet. Country life has its own kind of charm." "Charm? Where?" Nya pouted as she glanced toward the door, keeping watch. Even though she had been introduced as Sun's girlfriend, she didn't dare show too much affection like they would in the city, not in front of her parents. Her mother had warned her thoroughly. People in the countryside are still so old-fashioned. They hate public displays of affection. "Don't worry, my mom's not that strict," Sun reassured her. As if reading her mind, Sun playfully kissed her on the lips. "She may live in the countryside, but she's quite modern. If you don't believe me, go ahead and kiss me in front of her. You'll see." Before he could finish, Mrs. Sao suddenly appeared with a kerosene lamp in hand. She had moved so quietly that the couple hadn't noticed. By the time they heard her, it was too late. She was already standing right behind them. "Mom!" Sun awkwardly pushed Nya away, trying to cover it up. "Why are you still busy, Mom? Come sit and chat with us for a bit." "What chatting? It's late already," she said, lowering the lamp's flame. "You two should get to bed and rest. You've been on the bus all day, aren't you tired?" "Go to bed?" Nga's eyes widened as she looked at Sun, silently asking, "It's not even 8 yet. How are we supposed to sleep now?" "Yes, go to bed." Mrs. Sao nodded, not noticing her surprise. Sun lay down on the hardwood platform. Nya went into the bedroom to sleep with the auntie. The mosquito net was already set up, and Mrs. Sao came to fasten the door. "Wait, Mom," Sun suddenly called out. "We're not sleepy yet. In the city, we're used to staying up late. If we go under the net now, it'll feel suffocating. Let us go out for a bit." "Go out?" Mrs. Sao raised an eyebrow. "At this hour? Go where? What's there to do?" "Just walk around. Talk a bit." Sun squinted and hinted with a mischievous smile, making Nya blush deeply. "That's how it is, you know. We're in love. I want to take Nya to see the old counselor's tomb, the most famous local landmark." Just then, Sun smirked, already imagining the kisses he'd share with Nya inside the grand mausoleum, the largest in the area. Since childhood, he had snuck there many times with his friends to spy on adults having their private moments. Oh, the pranks they used to pull that left many lovers embarrassed. He still remembered one time when a couple sneaked in to be intimate, and the boys stole all their clothes, leaving the poor girl utterly humiliated. Now, it was his turn. He and Nya were heading there. Would some mischievous kid be spying on them this time? "What? Going to the grave of the counselor?" Aunt Sao suddenly shouted, cutting off Sun's romantic train of thought. "No way. That grave is haunted now." "I'm not afraid of ghosts. Just little devils." Sun laughed as he grabbed Nya's hand and pulled her up. "Let's go. I'll show you the most famous landmark in my hometown." "Goodbye, Auntie. We're heading out," Nya said softly with a slight bow, then followed Sun. Aunt Sao's voice rang out behind them. "Go wherever you want. Just don't go near the counselor's grave. I'm serious, that place is full of ghosts now." "What do you think?" Once they reached the edge of a dirt embankment, Sun turned to tease Nya. "My mom says the counselor's grave is full of ghosts. You still dare to go?" "Why not?" Nya tilted her head, smiling like a blooming flower. "Don't try to scare me. I don't believe in ghosts anyway." Sun didn't believe in ghosts either. Not really. But to spook his girlfriend, he put on a serious face. "Don't be too sure. If a ghost shows up, you might cry your eyes out." I'm telling you the truth. I've seen a ghost before." "Oh, please, don't be ridiculous." Nya laughed, playfully tapping his forehead, then glanced around. "Everything's so strange out here in the countryside. Even a graveyard becomes a tourist attraction." Sun chuckled but said nothing. He held Nya's hand and continued walking silently through the night. The moon was especially bright tonight, casting their flickering shadows through the leafy trees. The sounds of insects blended with the quiet breeze. The rural night was peaceful, almost like a painting. "Welcome to the Counselor's Grave tourist site." Sliding the latch open, Sun bowed slightly and jokingly welcomed her like a host. Nya looked around, puzzled. "We're here already? Wow, this mausoleum is beautiful. It looks just like a palace." Before Sun could say anything, Nya kicked off her sandals and ran ahead, disappearing among the trimmed ornamental trees. Smiling and shaking his head at her curious nature, Sun strolled slowly along the gravel path. Everything felt so familiar. A strange nostalgia welled up inside him. It had been 5 years. This was the first time he'd returned to the mausoleum that had been such a big part of his mischievous childhood. The place looked exactly the same. The mausoleum still sat on 2 plots of land, neatly squared. Wow. He bent down to pick up a ripe mango that had fallen from a tree. Sun couldn't help but be surprised at how well-behaved today's kids were. Ripe fruit lying on the ground, untouched. Not like in his day. Back then, every single fruit on these trees, ripe or green, big or small, was picked clean. The old caretaker used to chase them with a stick, completely out of breath. A strange feeling stirred in Sun's heart. He wondered if the old gravekeeper was still alive. If he was, he must be very old by now. Poor man. Lonely, frail, unmarried, and childless, living off the small offerings left behind to look after the tombs. Sun felt a pang of guilt, remembering all the pranks he and his childhood friends used to pull on the old man. According to his mother, the mausoleum had been built a long time ago. There were nearly 20 graves buried within the grounds, but the largest, most elaborate ones belonged to Mr. and Mrs. Counselor. Their tombs were made of granite and housed inside a grand mausoleum. No one really knew who their descendants were. Every few years, a young woman would show up, pay the gravekeeper, hire some workers to repaint and clean the tomb, and then disappear again. No one knew her relationship to the counselors. Sun had seen her once when he was a child. He wondered if she still returned to pay the gravekeeper. Why did the place now look so neglected and desolate? As he stepped onto the mausoleum's entrance steps, he immediately scrunched his nose in disgust. Oh no, that smell, it was awful. Some thoughtless couple must have come here and urinated nearby. Unbelievable. How disrespectful. Clicking his tongue in irritation, Sun stepped back outside and sat down on the stone bench under the big longan tree. He called out, "Hey Nya, what are you rummaging around for? Come here, I want to tell you something." There was no reply, only the sound of rustling footsteps through dry leaves. Sun smiled and stayed still. Trying to scare me with a surprise? Not that easy. He waited for the footsteps to get close, then spun around suddenly. Boo! But the playful scare died in his throat. His eyes widened in shock. Behind him wasn't Nya, not the beautiful girlfriend he had been expecting, but a white, formless figure standing silently. A ghost? A chill ran down Sun's spine, but he quickly shook the thought away, scolding himself for being so jumpy. It must be Nya trying to mess with me again, he reasoned. That was just her style. Grinning, Sun put his hand to his mouth and stretched it wide like a creepy grin, stepping back and saying, "I'm a ghost too, see?" Then he reached out and tried to grab the white figure, but his hand swiped through thin air, as if touching nothing at all. Suddenly, a burst of laughter echoed, and the white figure vanished. Was that? A real ghost? Sweat started to bead on Sun's temples. He suddenly remembered Nya and jumped up in panic. Nya! Nya! Where are you? I'm here. Why are you shouting like that? Leaves rustled as Nya appeared, holding a bunch of ripe longans and smiling playfully. There are so many longans here. I love it. You didn't see anything, Sun stammered. Nga widened her eyes.